Hey guys, welcome back to the studio where today we're going to be doing another Q&A video. Hello and welcome to another episode of How Long's TK's Hair? No, it's not that, no. Today it's time for another Q&A because it's been a year since we did the last one, so I thought, yeah, maybe it's time we did another one. Well, we'll start with question 1, and this comes from 4 Evenings, and she asks, what was your favourite subject in school, if you ever were a child? Well, I can assure you I was a child. Some say I still am. Dun, 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 dun. But anyway, to answer your question, I would say my favourite subject at school would be history. Because I had 3 really good history teachers and I've always been interested in the subject. And I got a B in history so for GCSE, so yeah, there is that. Okay, question 2 comes from Bredo, and they ask, TK, what is your PFP? Lol. Well, my PFP you're probably referring to isn't the one I'm using now, but for those of you who might be interested in the PFP I use mainly, there used to be a rave festival back in the 90s called Viberlight, and their symbol was the smiley face. Now, my version is the smiley face with a tooth missing because it's an older raver, as I am. And the eye patch is just because I quite like pirates, so that's that one. Question 3 comes from King AJ, and he asks, what do you think is your greatest build on Minecraft? Well, my greatest build on Minecraft would have to be when I built Rapture underwater in survival. Don't ask me how, I don't know how, but I did that. And I'll have to make a video on that so you can see it properly, and then we can you can see the glory and the pain that I may have gone through to do that. Right, on to question 3, which come from Alpha Muniz, and they ask, do you like Harry Potter? Well, yes, I do like Harry Potter, because I do Severus Snape, as many of you know. But yes, I've always been into Harry Potter because I sort of followed the films, and my cousin was a big fan of it too, so we used to sit up here and watch them into the wee hours of the morning. If you're watching, Ash, hi! Okay, now we're on to question 5, and we have 3 questions here. These are from Silas Zero, and they ask, do you nom often? How are the noms? And how do they taste? Well, yes, I nom often, probably every day, because I like my food. And how are the noms? The noms are very nice. And how do they taste? Very tasty indeed, my friend, very tasty. Okay, question 6 comes from Don Sandwich. And question 6 is, do we live in a society? Well, I'm not really the person to answer that, but I know someone who can. Hello, kiddos. This is Mr. J. Yes, if it wasn't for society, I wouldn't be the happy camper that I am today. And of course, how I agonised over how to thank people for that. People with a side-eye pie in the face, or an exploding whoopee cushion carefully placed in the Batmobile. Okay, enough of him. Okay, on to question... Question 7, which kind of follows on from this. Why are you doing that? Because I like doing the voice. What are you doing? I'm doing a Q&A video. How are you? I am fine. I always am. Why did you punch the wall? Well, I don't think I punched the wall, but Mr. J might have. Did you punch a wall, Mr. J? I don't know why I'm asking that in his voice. Yes, okay. Yes, I'm having a bit too much fun here, guys. Right, we'll move on to question 8, which is from AB No C, and he asks, Pog or Pog? Well, I would say Pog. Yeah, who isn't? Right, question 10 is from Christian, and he asks, what is your middle name? Well, my middle name is Edward, because my full name is Anthony Edward Atkin. Yes, I know, it's a very fancy name. Yes. Sometimes I tell people it's Eduardo, but it's just a posh name, way of saying Edward. Anyway, question 11 comes from Mo, and he asks, who am I? Well, Mo, you are possibly one of the coolest people I know, and someone I love hanging out with, so that's who you are, and don't forget it. Right. Question 12 is from Alpha Monies again, and it's another one in several parts. and the question goes like this: if you had to choose between only being able to use memes or dad jokes, what would it be? And no, the memes cannot contain dad jokes, and the dad jokes cannot contain a meme. Well, I think we'd have to go with dad jokes, because I don't think I could live without the dad jokes, because I love my dad jokes, yes. Yes, I do, as you all know. Right, question 13 is from Bredo again, and she asks, what is your favourite band? Well, favourite band. Well, I would say my favourite band would probably have to be Muse, because without them I wouldn't be playing that, I wouldn't be playing my bass, and I probably wouldn't be playing the drums. I do like other bands as well, but I would say the main one I like would be Muse. Now the next question comes from Tuza, and again I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so he's probably laughing his head off right now, but I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Okay, so the question is, from Tuza, is why does Netflix talk to me more than my friends? That's because it's evil. It's very evil. But the proper question they're asking is, also, do you like pink or purple? Well, out of the two colours, pink's pretty good, but I would say purple beats it just. Yeah, because I like purple. It looks posh and rich and all that shenanigans. Yes. Right. The next question comes from Ghost of Cheese, and it simply reads, TK, height, now! Well, I would say my height is 5'9", but with having little back problems I've had recently, I could be a little bit shorter now, but let's just say 5'9", just to be on the safe side. Now, the next question comes from Silas again, and they ask, do you do the Mountain Dew? Well, I used to do the Mountain Dew, but then the Mountain Dew got banned in Britain. Yes, you've heard that right. Mountain Dew was banned in Britain in about 1990 something. So we don't get it anymore. I really miss it. But when we did have Mountain Dew, I did do the Mountain Dew. I hope you do the Mountain Dew. Anyway, enough of this. Right, next question. It comes from King AJ again. And he asks, where do you get your comedy from? I love it. Well, I'm glad you love it, but I couldn't tell you where the comedy was, because if I did that, I would have to kill you. Okay. Now, this next question is a bit of a long one, so bear with me, because I probably will mess this up a few times. And the next question comes from Terabytes, and Terra asks, what is the distance along the y-axis from the centre of an ellipsoid? As value yc, where c is the length of the ellipsoid semi-axis in the y direction. Can you use this condition to validate the current coordinate against the equation of the ellipsoid? That is, x/a 2 plus zb 2 plus yc 2 squiggly bit equals 1. Well, you lost me at ellipsoid, but if anyone can answer that, answers below, please, and I'll answer it next time. Okay, next question. And this comes from Fumple McRumpelskin. I've probably completely butchered that, but let's carry on, shall we? He asks, why doesn't TK put his music on Spotify? Well, yeah, Spotify's a little bit complicated, because there's you need a record label to run the things. You have to do it through a third party, and things get a little bit complicated. And there's also the copyright situation with me having you know, copyrighted songs and things, so things can get a little bit dodgy. But if there's a site people know about, I mean, I know about SoundCloud, so I might put it on there, but if there's anything else people know, you can just put the music up and not worry about it. Just leave it below and I'll check it out. Okay, next question comes from Boggy Joe, and they ask, do you like jazz? Well, yes, I do like jazz, actually. Can't say I listen to it a lot, but I wouldn't say I hate it. I mean, it's you know, very cool and all that, and yes, I can listen to it most of the day if I needed to. And there is a comedian known as Bill Bailey, you may know about. You've probably heard me mention him before. He does a lot of things with jazz and does some very cool things with it. So yeah, it's probably not one of my favourite genres of music, but I do listen to it. Okay, the next question is from Fumble McRumpelskin again. I'm probably still reading that wrong, but let's carry on. Who inspired you most as a producer? Well, as I said on the Discord, the man who probably inspires me the most at the moment is a pretty cool dude, and you've probably seen him on the Feature Thursday section, and then that would be Dr. Mix, aka Claudio Passavani. I know I've probably pronounced his name wrong. If you're watching, Claudio, hi. And yes, he does some really cool videos, and he's probably the one who inspires me the most at the moment. So yes, that will be the producer I sort of been inspired by the most. But yeah, he is a pretty cool guy, and as he does. And in honour of that, let's go on to the next question. So as he usually says, next. And that will be question 22, which is from DT, which I'm assuming is Dollar Thomas. So hi Tom, and that question is, when and why did you start playing musical instruments / making music? Well, the main reason would be because my brother used to be a bit of a DJ and used to have some decks and used to do mixing and all sorts, and he had a musical keyboard, a Roland, I forget the number, but that was one of the first computer things, and when he was out and about, he'd let me go on it, and I used to love that keyboard, and obviously I would make little songs and things, and he'd help me where he could, and yeah, it's pretty cool. If you're watching, Russ, hi. And yeah, but I would say that's where we started, and the instruments would be going back to the earlier question about Muse, that the band Muse, I used to like listening to them, and I always wanted to play the guitar, so that's where that came from. And the bass player is pretty good in Muse, so again, that's where the bass came from. Drums too, that would be the drums from what's it, but yeah, the keyboard side of things would be mainly from my brother. Right guys, well that's the end of another Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed that, and now you'll probably know a little bit more about me. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the Discord, or you can always leave them in the comments. As I say, and when we get enough, we'll add them to the, and we'll do another one of these. I'll try not to leave it a year this time. Yeah. Now, next week will probably be a live stream again. I am going to start doing these every first Monday of the month, and they will always be at 7 o'clock UK time. So if you're free about that time, feel free to join me and we can have some fun. But as always, they will be uploaded to TK Studios for the people who can watch, who don't have time to look at them later. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that. I shall talk to you all soon, my friends. TK out. Peace.